Hello, welcome to the Holistic Healer Podcast, a podcast dedicated to all things holistic. I am your host, Cheryl Lee. Today's guest is Magdalena White, otherwise known as Raw Coconut Girl. Magdalena is a professor that teaches the bio-art science of healing at the International School of the Healing Arts. She is an iridologist, detox and regeneration specialist, chef, creator, artist, spiritual guide, and international healer. We sit down today to discuss spirituality, detoxification, color therapy, and Magdalena's bio-art science of healing course, and so much more. Enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Holistic Healer Podcast. I am your host, Cheryl Lee, and today's guest, I'm so excited. Magdalena White, a raw coconut girl. Yay, look at her with her coconut. You teach at the International School of Healing Arts, right? You do the bio art science of healing.
Yes.
So you're a professor there. You're an iridologist, a detox and regenerative specialist. You are a chef. You're a creator. You're an absolute healer. So welcome onto my show. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here and I'm very excited for today.
Me too. Me too.
Always ready. Always ready.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I always like to just kind of give my audience just a little bit of a background as to what got you to this present moment in time, your journey into living foods, and for you specifically into fruitarianism.
Uh, well, I that was my intuition. My God.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been a fruitarian since I was a little girl. I already
Wow.
followed this lifestyle, and believe it or not, I was doing it intuitively from the bottom of my heart. I didn't even feel a desire to eat any other food, and to me, it was always very complex seeing people so unhappy, heavy after each meal they consume, and not being interactive after and
Yeah.
always going to sleep. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you people?
Yeah. You're full of all this energy and life, and everyone's,
Yeah. And I'm I'm not going to bed. Are you kidding me? I'm just like full of energy. Oh my gosh, you're always full of energy. How are you doing this? Well, I guess I do something right.
Yeah. No
Because
kidding.
I ran
Wow.
out of
That's
energy for sure.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It's a lot of, I would say, people ask me if it's hard for me to be fruitarian or be on this path, and it's not. It's always been very simple and easy for me to transition and do it fully the way I wanted to do it. Perhaps I brought it from my past lives. I believe in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in that deeply.
Me too.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
And I remember the connection, the dots. I remember who I was in the past lives. When I don't do caching records, and I'm always very careful with that because we know we can end up in a really
Yeah.
bad way as well. So, but there are a lot of people, like I met at the farmers market, that they can be tricky. And I met at the farmers market the other day a person that was like, Magdalena, I do exactly what you do. I'm like, what do you mean exactly what I do? Well, I am all into caching records. I can read them. I can communicate with those spirit. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the person started telling me how Reiki heals, how that person healed him. And I'm like looking at him and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel sorry,
Yeah.
because it's just like I am not into Reiki, and that's what I teach also on my course, and my course to avoid Reiki at any
Yeah.
cost. Yeah, because as we know, Reiki people, they're gonna tell you they healed you, which that's not the point. They don't heal you. You heal
Right.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where to me, being a healer is I am a portal. That's all. I'm just a satellite, and I'm
Right.
just yeah, and that's it. Like I do not do other things than that, and I
Right.
communicate. I connect with my divine energy, but that's
Yeah,
it.
you're a conduit kind of for others to kind of like, things to move through you so that you can like make recommendations and guide a
Yes,
person, but you're not actually the one doing the actual healing for that person. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And also another aspect is when I was a little girl, I always had a guidance there, like a masters that they were behind my back, literally telling me,
Wow.
Magdalena, this is the right path you are on. You're gonna be a fully fraternal in the future. I knew how my life gonna look like.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, it was like everyone is like about the um, law of attraction. Attract this, manifest this. Well, what if I tell you everything is already created? You don't need to manifest anything.
Yeah.
Just don't
Yeah.
manifest anything. Try to not to manifest. Just follow what is already created for you,
Yeah.
right? Because if
Totally.
you, yeah, if manifestation, what it does, it actually can create a new reality that
Mhm.
you don't necessarily want to.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. I
you,
agree.
yeah, right? It's just like I learned it like since a little girl. I was like doing many aspects, like didn't even understand what I was doing. And I mastered to the point where I figure out how, wow, I live on Maui, like Hawaii. How did I
Yeah.
know since I was a little girl I'm gonna live on Hawaii where we didn't have internet back then?
Yeah. You
I
were
didn't.
you were you were hooked up to the divine. Right? I mean, you were, and I think too, there's that aspect of just surrendering to that calling, like, feeling what it is that you desire in your life, what's important to you, not necessarily going and like, asking for materialistic items, but more
Yes.
so surrendering to what, like being aware and having connection within yourself enough to be able to hear what those things are that your soul truly wants to do, and then following the leads that the universe always provides.
Yes, yes, fully.
Yeah.
And manifestation can be tricky, and a lot of people are teaching, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to manifest this, I'm gonna teach you how to
Hmm.
manifest that. Okay, so but all these manifestations are about physical things. Oh, I want this coconut tomorrow, let's say. That's just
Yeah.
an, oh, I want this house tomorrow. Oh, I want to win $1,000 tomorrow, or whatever, million. And people
Yeah.
just ask about materialistic things. That's another aspect that it's not good about manifestation. Or,
Yeah.
I'm gonna dream that big house that I have. No, my dear ones, see, when I see something, it's not that I'm creating it, it's something that it's created, and I see my future already, that is designed future, that I that the universe is telling me, this is my planetary future. You can get there if you
Yeah.
do it right. You can
Hmm.
get there if you do it correctly, and you're gonna be following from your heart. And I see
Yeah.
this beautiful thing, like the house, family, everything. But I need to do it right, and I also make mistakes. Just a
Yeah.
human, right? On this,
Of
uh,
course.
in a human experience, having human experience in the divine body, and that's all
Yes.
it is. Yeah, but that's it. It's limited. It limits us. It's a, so I say the more you manifest, the more you limit yourself, because you
Yes.
can possess all these physical aspects like money, house, sure, be happy, have it, but guess what you're gonna miss? You're gonna miss the truth.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
How do you tell people when they want, like, say, for example, things are missing in their life and they want certain things,
Yeah.
but sometimes things
And
aren't
here I'm
happening?
like, say that again. Sorry, I'm gonna like.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was when people say, I want something, I
Mhm.
want, whether it's a materialistic item, or maybe they want to move somewhere tropical, like maybe they want to move to Hawaii, for example, but they ask or they visualize or they
Yeah.
meditate upon that, for example, but things aren't happening in that direction. How do you feel, or what's your advice for people in that situation in terms of, because the word manifestation is such a it means different things to different people, but I think oftentimes it's getting it. For a lot of people, it means I'm going to get this, I'm going to manifest this. But how do you feel if those things that they're asking for are just not showing up in their life?
Exactly. What's your diet, right? What is your offering to the universe? What do you
Yeah.
represent with yourself? And if it's not happening, that means that it's not right time for you. And please, that's what I'm saying. Maybe try stop to manifest. If you don't see the
Yeah.
results, that it shows you, maybe perhaps you're even in a better level than these people that are achieving these manifestations,
Yeah.
because the universe is not allowing you to open that door for some reason. The
Yes.
universe is asking you to open the mind for the other reason, that perhaps is not to manifest, but
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
your
Right.
life. Nourish your heart, nourish yourself first, and you can nourish others with love. I always
Yeah.
say, don't help other, because a lot of people like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor, oh, I'm gonna be a lawyer, oh, I'm gonna be a detox specialist, and they
Yeah.
think they're gonna accomplish the courses, the studies, and all the exams, and then they're gonna become great workers. And even like if it comes to us, like light workers and healers, well, that's not the point. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's, yeah, you need to get to that point of feeling it fully, and you cannot start helping others with any craft that you possess, any craft you own, without having your wounds healed.
Totally. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yep. I'm all about that, you know. I One of my messages on this podcast, just because I have a background in natural hygiene, and I don't, the diet's very important, and I know that it makes a huge difference, but I always say, like, we can't forget about the rest, the things that are important, like our spiritual, our mental, our emotional well-being, and what goes into that, and connecting to nature, and making sure we move the body. Like, all of these things kind of are equally as important. So I just feel like on that, what you were just talking about, it all comes down to just trust. Like, if you can just trust and know that everything
Yes.
is working out exactly as it should, and it's
Yeah.
like going downstream. Like, the minute you feel like you're pushing something upstream, it's, to me, that's like a really good sign that you're not moving in the right direction. If things are flowing and it's easy, then you're like, okay, this feels good. But I always like to use the river. So you did kind of mention a little bit though about diet. So let's kind of get into the diet piece, because as far as cleaning up the, like, some of those old woundings, some of those old traumas, those types of things, they get stuck in the body. And so using diet or cleansing protocols, that type of thing, to clean that out, like, how are you feeling in regards to the diet as a way to become more connected to what is meant for you, if that makes sense?
So are we talking here about also carnivore diet?
No, we're talking like in terms of like using, like, fruitarianism, living foods. Let's just say living foods, because not everybody is like on a fruitarian based diet. But using the life in the foods as a way to establish more of a connection to the divine.
Yes, I experienced that as well. The
Yeah.
food that you consume is all about it's all about energy, right? Everything is about energy. We are about
Yeah.
energy as well. You're energy, I am an energy. This coconut is an energy. Oh my gosh, what a nutrient energy. These people that are trimming trees are energy, giving
Yes.
energy. It's not always a positive one, because we live in dualism. So we need to always like segregate and put them in a
Yeah.
wrong, wrong
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yes, absolutely. The connection. See, I always like to say, treat your food like you would be married to it. Like
Oh, I love
it's
that.
right. Yeah, it's like your wife, your husband, whatever. uh it, you treat it, you treat it, you want to have make love with your food literally because it's nourishing you.
Yes.
You talk to the food the way you love it. You talk, you give that vibration, you give that that's what I teach also in my course. It's like you give that energy, you speak to it, and that is gonna provide what you believe in, that it can
Right.
give. Yeah, so even if you have worse quality of fruit, but you're gonna believe, no, this fruit gonna feed my cells no matter what, it's still gonna bring me some uh, um, optimistic
Hmm.
side effects, positive side effects, no matter
Right.
what I consume. For example, I do that grape feast with people right now. I have that beautiful event right now going on, and I'm like, guys, I went to every store the other day. And I couldn't find any sweet grapes.
Oh
They have grapes, they do, but half of them is moldy or they're
no. Yeah.
sour as heck. I thought like my eyes were like, like $5 latte. I couldn't like, I couldn't like,
That's so funny.
handle them. They were so acidic. And well, is it a good food for you? No, you want to avoid that food at any cost because you can actually create even more
Right.
acidosis. So, but like I tried this to eat this on Saturday because I didn't expect that the whole box will be so sour, and I'm like, I can't even do the grape fast.
Oh
I'm
shoot.
like,
Oh my goodness.
I am the one who's hosting grape fast.
I'll
So
just coach y'all, but
yeah, I'm just gonna. So what I did, I started juicing them instead.
okay, well that's a good idea. That's a great idea. You still were able to do your thing, just juice them. That's
Yes,
amazing.
and the juicing actually what allows you to bring that sweetness out of these grapes as well. So
Right.
if
Yes.
they're sour, they become sweeter because you extract, you press. There is that. I know. I apologize for this, people. I
That's
didn't
okay.
think
That's
that
okay.
much of that today.
That's okay.
Uh, um, they're just like so
The
loud.
grape. Yeah. The juicing and the grapes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I truly believe that so I switched to juices, yeah, and I'm like, they're like asking me, hey, so can we drink juices? I'm like, uh, this is a grape feast, we eat a whole fruit, okay, it's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
It,
me. Yeah.
yeah, it's just me, please think
Because
that I'm.
circumstances alter cases sometimes, right? Like you
Yeah,
just have to roll with it.
yeah,
I
yeah, 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 but I
no,
feel
go
so
ahead.
connected. It's just crazy, and I always need to start a detox sooner than I host the event. Before I host the event, like 2 days
Oh,
before,
good.
because I need to get into the zone. I
Right.
need to feel spiritual back rather than feel up myself and stuck in this dualistic world, because then I would be
Yeah.
like very limited. Yeah. So I'm trying
Yeah.
to always tap into the same energy, and yeah, so I've been juicing, and I'm like,
I
well, that's
love
all I
that.
have. And we'll see how far I go, because I'm not a big fan of long juicing, so I'm probably gonna go like for maybe 2 more days, and then I'm gonna like switch to see if the grapes came.
So do you feel though, like, so when we're looking at, like, I want to get into a little bit to protocols and what those mean, because I know there's
Yes.
like you have protocols, Dr. Morris has protocols, and like the grape cleanse for the purpose of detoxification and regeneration versus doing juicing. Like, what would be, aside from the fiber, what would be the benefit of doing grapes over doing, say, for example, like a 14 to 21 day juice feast?
So not everyone needs to be that strict. It's a little.
Okay.
It can be too much for certain body.
Hmm.
It all depends on the acidosis of the person, or maybe it's too alkaline. The body
Hmm.
can be too alkaline as well. There is not proper pH level in the body. There is not proper chemistry in the body. So, in order to make sure that it's correctly done, everything, and so you are actually healing, not decreasing your health.
Right.
yeah, it's good to have a proper guidance. That's why I always like to say, please work with your specialist. Anyway, but speaking of that, it's important to know that not everyone is designed to do juice fast either.
Okay.
That's why I love 1 day juice fast. I love 1 day of being on one certain type of juice. I love that. I think that
Okay.
can be amazing. But after, like, people, like, I did 40 days on grapes, nothing but grape juice.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
after my surgeries, it did. I did actually twice. And I need to tell you, would I do it again? Heck no. That was way too much, I
It
think.
was, oh, I can only imagine. Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
but I detoxed the heck out of me. And I need to tell you, I did it twice. So I didn't like do 80 days.
Right.
So I had time to
Wow.
regenerate and then I dive in deeper again. But I think short fast can be more beneficial because, it's like, let's say with your pet. Yeah, you have a little doggy, give him a little attention, the doggy will be asking for more attention, so you will
Right.
give more attention, and the doggy will ask for more because, when you give a little
Yeah.
finger, it wants a whole hand and then a whole
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. Yeah, so then you are spoiling the heck out of the pet, how
Yes.
out of the dog, and the dog will be like, oh, the next day, why are you not hugging me? What's wrong with you? Like, so that's the same with the body. You feed and you treat it as like a little animal, a little bit like all of your cells. You feed them with nutritious, with juice, and they want more of that juice, of course, because they want to hydrate more. But is it
Yes.
necessarily good when you all of a sudden put so much pressure on your kidneys, on your
Oh,
adrenals?
yeah.
They may not filter correctly. Maybe you have stagnant lungs. Maybe you have stagnant lymph in your head where you don't really necessarily always want to use juices for that. Maybe you
Yeah.
suffering from cancer, yeah. Then you definitely don't want to do starve that cancer. You rather want to feed it because a lot of people are jumping on juices and dry fasts. That's what
Yes.
it's actually composed together usually, right? It goes together,
Right.
and people are like doing that, and then they're trapped in this detox world.
Yeah.
And that could be a trap, that could be a misleading a path, and you may
Yeah.
get hurt rather than helping yourself. So that's why I'm like, be careful. And I always gonna prioritize eating whole fruit rather than juicing. It's more beneficial. We have, for a reason, the teeth, the saliva, like the
Right.
tongue, the throat, all the digestive system to digest, and the
Right.
juice. Yeah, and I'm like, yes, you can eat your juice. I like to eat my juice. I don't drink my juice. I eat it,
Yeah. Chew it up.
chew it out. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Few times, and it's like, mix it with your saliva before you swallow. It's so important. And
Yeah.
people usually just like swallowing it because they just want to, I need to satisfy my
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
thirst. So that can be misleading. I hope I'm like in the
I
subject.
Yeah, yeah, you actually are, and it's interesting because like I think now there's a lot about juicing. Like there's all kinds of, I mean, now that we have social media, it's you can find anything about anything, right?
Yeah,
And I think what you just said about, for example, the kidneys and the adrenals and how they may be affected by doing a juice feast. But
yeah,
people don't think about that. They only are thinking about the digestive system in a sense of the colon. Like, let's clean out the colon, let's give the digestive system a break. But nobody ever talks about the other things that are kind of going on, like the adrenals, like the kidneys, like all of these things where, you know, someone might not take into consideration that, whoa, you're detoxing too quickly for the body to keep up with, and that could leave you in a state where you were far worse off to begin with.
yes.
So yeah, I love what you just said.
Yeah, thank you. I every time any clients that come to me, they're like, "Hey, I did that with the detox specialist, and guess what? I felt like a crap. I don't know why I did that, and
Yeah.
please help me, remineralize me." And I'm like, a lot of people are coming here with me for like just rebuilding protocols because they're just,
Yeah.
and I feel sorry. I'm like, I want you to know. I even made a video on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I got like such a like there were people, of course, that were supporting me, but there were also people that were like, oh my gosh, are you crazy? Like, I did the dangers of juicing.
Oh, wow.
And I talk about enemas. I talk about overstimulating the body, overusing, like being addicted to certain things that are unhealthy and can become
Yeah.
unhealthy even from a detox environment. We also, you can, it's like, when someone is consuming fruit, like we hear people are dying on fruits.
Yeah.
There's no way you can die on fruits when you do it.
No. Yeah. You
I've
have
never.
to go a little, you got to dig a little deeper than that claim.
Yes,
Right?
there is a medical history into that.
Yes.
There are weakness and strength of your past generations. Like,
Right.
you detox. Yeah, I always like to say you are detoxing your past generations. You are detoxing your body, but you're detoxing what they gave you. Like, literally,
Yeah.
you holding. My grandma went through the World Two. I'm detoxing that. I have her
Yeah.
fear.
Mhm. And that's the whole ancestral trauma piece, that's another piece of it that we just don't, I think for most people they're walking in their body as if there's nothing else but that going on, and it's so important to take a step outside of that and look at these things like, your family history, generational trauma, all of these things, they play such a big role, in the healing, in the process of healing. And so when it comes to protocols, like how would you differentiate them between cleansing and detoxing versus protocols? Like what is there a difference?
I would say cleansing is more like you clean the window.
Right.
It's just like quick, like a, I don't know, 1 day cleanse,
Right.
2 day cleanse. Detox, on the other hand, I feel it's hitting that cells hard.
Okay.
It touching your spirit. I'm not saying that cleanse is not, but cleanse, when you like put in a Google search, master cleanse,
Yeah.
everybody talks about it. Well, do we talk about it? No,
No.
we don't even waste time for stuff
No.
like that. Yeah, it's just everything. Oh, cleanse. Oh, cleanse. Okay, but cleanse doesn't mean it's on a cellular level. No, it's just in my opinion, is a short term to
Right.
just, yeah, and speed. People usually want to speed up the process, so they use mushrooms. Okay, they use what else they use? A lot of bentonite clay that it
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
stack up in your gut, and it
Or
can,
apple cider vinegar, these types of
oh
things.
god, oh,
Yeah.
coffee enemas.
Coffee. Yeah, totally.
And then these, you, oh my gosh, you have no idea there how many clients came to me with like, not like they were my clients, they came to me already with a problem
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they experienced because someone advised them to do enema. And I think the one and only, if it comes to all the practitioners of Dr. Morse, that is super careful with enemas, and I didn't need to do any to detox myself, trust me.
Yeah.
And I
No
healed.
colonics. Enemas, colonics. Yeah.
No cologne, yeah, nothing. I was like, I cleaned myself truly on herbs, because you can move your bowel movement, believe it or not, with the juice and the herbs. That's it, you don't
Yes.
need much. And
So,
unless
yeah.
you're really constipated and you have prolapses and stuff, then of course there is a thing that in a certain situation I would use enema, but that
Right.
would be right consulted. That would be something that it's, oh, there is no, because you know what is happening when you do enema. It's like you putting this thing, yeah, in your gut,
Yeah.
in your intestines, through your anus, and then you're like putting this in. And what are you doing? These tissues that are created inside in order to move your food and make you poop going to the
Yeah.
bathroom,
Yeah.
absorb, they're so sensitive. They're living organism, and when you put something that you weren't born with, we
Yeah.
weren't born with enema bags, and you're putting this in your anus, and then you're pushing through, and you are um, hurting these walls that are
Yeah.
so they're like covered in silk. And what is happening, it's like, when you wear underwear that it's like about to, it's like, oh, silicone on your skin. That's a good example. When you put
Yes.
silicone on your skin, you're gonna leave a red mark when you
Yeah,
leave
you're
it
going to get a
on.
rash.
Yeah, yes, that's what it happens. It's exactly the same thing. You're bringing in a stranger into your body, and
Yeah,
you want to, even if you just reach a certain, because when you clean the colon, you just can't get so far. You
right.
can't do all the colon, right? Guys, when you do that, you are irritating the walls, which means they're losing their nutrients, and they're like, it's like, something weird for them to even learn. It's like, what is going on? It's like, putting I don't know, more fire into a fire, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, from
Well,
something as.
it is invasive, like it's invasive to the body. Like we wouldn't find that in nature,
And water in general, like when you use water pick,
Yeah.
you can actually hurt your gums easily because the water pressure is pretty strong.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you can
even
end up with bleeding gums and so many people have had colonics, like a lot of people who end up, because again, like you talked about earlier, there's an addiction component. You get one and then you start going like maybe once every 2 weeks, and next thing you know, it's once a week. And then it's like, next thing I've heard of people not being able to actually have a bowel movement on their own because they're used to going in and getting a colonic,
Yep.
so there's some really real downsides of these external measures that we take in the pursuit of detoxification that really aren't helping us.
Yes, and I was going somewhere at the beginning, and of course I didn't finish because I had so many other thoughts
That's okay.
but I was saying about people that were coming to me, and they are like, Magdalena, I just came back from hospital. I'm like, from where? A hospital. I had a surgery. They had to cut a piece of my intestine. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut a little bit of my colon. I'm like, what do you mean? What happened? Oh, because before you told me to not to do enemas, but I was doing them.
Oh my
I,
goodness.
I'm gonna
Wow.
splunk you. Why did you do
Yeah.
that? And that's what I'm saying. You are making your walls weaker, and guess what? Some people may be resistant to certain pressures, certain irritation. You can maybe heal it, but some people are very fragile inside, very
Yeah.
delicate, and these walls, if they're genetically weak, they can burst, they can start leaking, and then you are creating a problem on top of another problem. So
Yeah. Big
it's scary.
problem.
Yes. And you can imagine how water can wash off the rocks, right?
Mhm.
How they change, like how it's polished. The rocks are polished by
Mhm.
by the water when it's hitting it directly.
Yes.
That's the same what it's happening when you do colonics, when you do the enemas. You're washing
Okay,
off
yeah.
constantly. And it doesn't matter if it's once, doesn't matter if it's twice, it's still washing off. And we never know how thick your wall is because everyone is different, has different
Yeah.
needs.
So you're really taking your health, like you're really risking, like kind of playing Russian roulette in a sense when you go and you take on these different endeavors, because like you said, you just, how the body's going to respond, you don't know until you do it. And it's if you're that one person now that has an inability to go to the washroom on their own, it's like, wow, these people are going to be like, oh, I wish I would have not done that, or
That's what
maybe
they're
have
saying
looked.
now.
Yes, I wish I would not have done that. I wish maybe I would have done more research into what the cons are of these types of things.
Yes. And that's not the first person that came to me like this. There were a few people like this. And
Wow.
it got to the point where, and there were many people also from Poland. I used to have a very big like a group in Poland
Yep.
as well, that I was like doing a lot of events and stuff in the
Yep.
past. And lots of Polish people, they were advised by other specialists to do enemas, and they were from Dr. Morse's after Dr. Morse's courses.
Yep.
Well, and Dr. Morses is not a big fan of enemas either, unless they're necessary as we know it, right?
Right.
The same way
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
he's teaching this the same way, and us, all of us. And to me, the enema is something, if it's this is the last resort. Like if I don't have any other choice, then I would go
Yeah.
with enema.
Yeah. So much like a colonic or an enema could create
Oh,
problems with the bowel wall, these types of things. People who are doing a juice cleanse that are, I don't know, like 40, 50, 60, 100 days on juices, is that you're potentially then basically like causing, or you could potentially be causing, depending on your body type, what you're saying, some long-term problems by embarking on something like that.
I believe the body will forget how to digest, how
Yeah,
to
right.
react
Hmm.
on food. Yeah, it's just like it's like with this puppy that I mentioned before. You just like
Yeah,
giving the same fluid for 40 days. It's still kind of like it's long, but it's I
yeah,
think it's maximum. We never want to go more than that if it's
right.
even necessary.
Yeah,
But
for
I
sure.
thought I have I mean, I thought I've been told that I may have a pancreas cancer cells and stuff. I don't want to like,
Okay.
yeah. Speak loud, so I don't want the universe listen.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to even say the word. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But they were selling that, and I was told that I'm gonna lose my sight after surgeries because this is the number
Wow.
one. And even I was told when I was like 21, I'm gonna lose my sight when I'm gonna be in my 30s, and I'm 4,000 years old soul and a 36 young body.
Wow,
Honestly,
there you go.
I see you better than ever.
Yeah, yeah, you really do. Like you're so full of energy, you're glowing, you just have this beautiful like spiritual like that you're like this like like you have this aura around you, that's just this
Oh,
beautiful. Yeah, you really do. You really really do. So for you then, so your protocols much like Dr. Morrison, you're going to be implementing herbs for the purpose of detoxification. Because in your title, a detoxification and regenerative specialist, meaning regenerating the tissues in the body
yes,
through like using herbs, but using like different protocols. So, like a grape cleanse, would that be a protocol in conjunction with herbs?
correct. I was
Right.
yeah, I love using herbs because yes, we can get to the cells and we can restructure function of your cells. We can the herbs can really dive in deeper into the root of the problem, where fruits
Right.
on the other side are hydrating your cells. They're like helping the move the lymph moving, and they are like a very friendly, like a feed, they're feeding the body with all the nutrients, minerals
Yeah.
and stuff. So they're really good for the body, and they're pulling that lymph. And they also, what they do, they cleanse you on a spiritual level. So you're
Yeah.
cleansing the chakras, and that's why you feel like you got wings every time you
Yeah.
do fast or something. I feel like that. It's like, oh my gosh, something is lifting me up. I feel so light. It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Do you,
like many friends telling me, Magdalena, you're floating. You're not walking. You're floating.
yeah. Wow, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
do you, with your clients that you've had, do you find that once you put them on your protocol and they start, implementing it and some time goes by, is it pretty inevitable that they're, like we talked about at the beginning, kind of those obstacles that we carry around, the traumas, the woundings, these types of things will just kind of organically come up through doing a protocol?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And even the things that you think you heal,
Uh-huh.
you may be all of a sudden too sensitive. You're gonna start crying, or you're gonna be
Yeah.
like too depressed all of a sudden, or angry, or
Mhm.
and you're gonna figure out that you have a lot of anger in your liver. A lot of people end up this way,
Yeah.
and that's anger from childhood, where your parents
Mhm.
didn't want to give you money for your favorite sweet that you want to
Yeah.
get in the store. Yeah, anything that can trigger that. I actually got a lot of memories of my flashbacks, so many when I am on fasts. I'm actually um, recalling a lot of situation from my childhood that I even didn't remember about for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
You know, example, there is a picture of me and my family. My grandma is holding me, and we were in a botanical garden that we were like in uh, arbitrarium. Yeah, that's how it's called here.
Yep.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and she was like holding me next to the palm tree, and I was wearing this cute little outfit that was pink, and it had gray elephant on it. And my mom is like, "There's no oh," and we were like standing for the picture to take a picture, but no one took a picture because no one took a camera.
Wow.
And that was like, 80s. That was in the 80s. Like I was born 1986, and I wasn't even 1 year old when that
Wow.
situation happened. And my mom is like, "There's no way, we have no picture from that event because no one brought a camera." And I even remember that no one brought a camera. And I even remember my
Wow.
grandma was holding me like this way, like holding me like so. My face was
Yep.
so round, and she was like holding me like I was sitting on her or her arms, her hands. And I remember each detail, like the old people, adults were like looking at me, and I was just sitting in this little body thinking, "Oh, I want to walk like them. I can't wait for that."
Wow.
I was just like having such a like, like my brain couldn't fit in this little body. I
Yeah,
always,
yeah, you were like expanding out past your like your age, and you
yeah,
were seeing yourself like almost what it would be like to be in the situation where you're, I don't know, 15, 20. It's
yes.
amazing.
My mom didn't breastfeed us for long. And I remember when she was breastfeeding me, I wasn't like, was so tiny. She maybe like breastfed me like maybe until I was like 1 year old. And then she
Yeah.
was like feeding me with a lot of fruits, but also I got other milk, unfortunately.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um but she didn't feed us long, and she couldn't even get in a proper amount of milk. See, and now we have a solution for that. We know how to
Yeah.
help. It's all about
Yeah.
dehydration. So hydrate all the women out there, and see if you can breastfeed your baby more. But my
Yeah.
mom was lacking that milk food for me, so that's why she put me on the animal product.
Yeah.
So,
I'm there with you. Happened to me too. You
oh my
know.
god, why? Why is
I
that?
know. Now knowing what we know, it's like, why? Why did that happen? But it's all, again, it's part of the unfolding, and meant these things are just meant to happen. Like, I always think too, if things hadn't happened the way, because I really believe that everything is for us and that everything's happening right from the very beginning. Like, we can look back on our lives and realize, like, oh, that happened because of that. Like, as you look back and you can reflect, on your life, you see all of these things as happening to get you to where you are today.
Yes, when I was little, I was always scared of what I've seen because I didn't understand. I saw a lot of dead spirits, just like spirits, like they were
Yeah.
from other dimensions. And now when I look back and I see these flashbacks, and I don't like to do caching records, so I don't talk to myself, I don't do things like that. I am just
Hmm.
there seeing me in bed doing the same thing, 30 years ago or whatever, you know what I mean.
Right.
And I just feel like I would be there right now, like I can do it out of an experience right now while talking to you, but I'm there.
Yeah.
That makes sense, even I don't know.
It totally makes sense. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
or I'm like in a
Absolutely.
different body right now too. But I decided to be here present.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Of course. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, of
didn't think
course.
about it that way. That's so full of myself, but
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, so you have a course with at the school, the International School of Healing Arts, and
yes.
it's the BioArt Science of Healing. So what is that course? Like, I had a look at it. It's very detailed. Like, you really cover a lot of different kind of aspects in that course.
Mhm.
But how would you kind of summarize what somebody could learn through taking that course?
Oh my goodness, it's such a powerful message in this course. First of all, you can learn about yourself. You can learn
Hmm.
that you have gifts that you never knew that you probably had. And
Yeah.
no one ever discovered them for you, or you never discovered them, because a schooling system is trapping us in and limiting and
Yeah.
exploring the world. So
Hmm.
I literally give that a chance to all adults, all the, not only adults but also anybody in any age, to be honest, to discover what the truth potency is, what a true gift is, and that it's based on the color, on the smell, on the touch, of
Hmm.
the perceptions of the being able to see in a different dimensions, on a different level, from a different perspective, from a different energies, interact with these energies,
Wow.
using your healing energy properties to help someone to heal, not to heal the person, but how
Right.
to, yeah, enhance that power
Hmm.
and take it from divine and push it literally into someone's body. It's shown in the filming. While we were filming, I was even showing the way of how the waves are working while doing the energy healing session, how the energy works, how my hands were going like in and out, and it was closer to the
Wow.
body, further from away from the body, and it's like recorded. We have like these, and it's like it's proven that there is energy, and that was such a deep connection. There is like beautiful music there that I use as, yeah, beautiful pieces of art. We create art. We create
Yeah.
art out of your heart, and we create art of your world, that the world that you see, because like I
Right.
mentioned in the other interview the other day, I can see planets in the sky, but you will tell me, what's wrong with you? You're cuckoo.
Yeah.
There are
Right.
planets. Don't tell me what I see or I cannot see if I see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
trust me, for sure I see it. So these are the different aspects that we can see on a daily basis. Like I see vivid, super vivid colors, like they're neon almost colors, and a lot of people see the world still gray. And what are you talking about? You see like 100 different shades of green. I do. At the same
Yeah.
time, the tint is changing. You can see the vivid colors, less or more, and it's crazy, and a lot of people do not know that's the case, and where that path is leading towards that direction, where you're opening up that art chakra, and that
Yeah.
it's here. It's
Hmm.
not in your mind. And what else? Oh my gosh, there's so many oh, I teach also how to read your aura.
Hmm.
Yes, I've been
Like to read your individual aura and also others' auras, or just like
yes.
your own personal aura?
Yes, like others,
Okay.
and your
Okay.
own, or but you start from your own, yeah. So you learn how
Okay.
to do it on your own, first. Yeah, yeah. We have a whole chapter about it. I have a whole chapter created. What else? Oh my, out of body experience, like how to
Hmm.
heal your nervous system on a cerebral level through art, and
Okay.
and like Dr. Morse's beautiful said many times, there's no healing without art. You
Hmm.
need to have art incorporated into healing, and there's not just that. And I always like to say, you can just take herbs and I'm gonna sneeze. I'm on herbs by the way right now, so all these
Oh,
sneezing,
you are.
I don't agree. Oh, oh, okay, stop.
Okay, it went away.
It went away. It wasn't meant to be. I'm sorry, not this
That's
time.
okay.
I'm just kidding. uh what am I saying? Oh my gosh,
So
there's
with the
uh-huh.
yeah, you were just talking about like the art, like
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
Thank you, thank you. I was just
yeah,
like, I just need one word, a keyword, and I'm coming back
yeah,
on the
yeah.
right track because I'm out there. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So the art, but of course, everything is an art, a piece of art, right? When we prepare herbs, the way we eat, the way we talk is a piece of art.
Yeah.
People keep forgetting about it, but also the art can be expressed. So it's not yes, you can express it with your body, but you can express it on a paper, on an art, the way you can create stuff. You're a creator. You can create
Right.
endless things that like ideas that there's just like so many of them in our hearts, and people can heal these energies. I actually there's an example. I didn't like orange color for a long time, and
Okay.
I'm wearing mustard, by the way, so it's kind of like orange
Yeah,
fabric.
right.
I didn't like this
It-
color for a long time. It was, to me, even though I used to have a room in orange color as well, and I started hating that color. I don't know. I never hate anything, but I just couldn't stand that color. Well,
wow.
then we are looking for that connection. What it is about? What chakra is it
Mm,
connected to? What tissues is it connected to? What body cells are connected to
right.
it? What body organ? Believe it or not, everything is energy. It's not always about what the Google says, but what the,
No, exactly.
yeah. But when you put the energy in your hand and you start like going through all your body and just like somebody's body or your own body, like I even feel now like hot, cold, warmer, like I feel this, but this is something that you can also learn, and I also teach that. So it's just like
Yeah, wow.
energy is powerful, and sometimes, oh my gosh, I don't know if you ever heard about bars, but there is a special technique that they also teach, and it's very popular here also in Maui. They run bars and they
Oh, no,
press.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, they want to train me in that. I
Mm,
didn't go though. I think this is another thing that we need to be careful with. But I'm
right.
allowed to do this by one person to me because I wanted to test it if I can even include it in my
Yeah,
practice.
right. Yeah.
The person ran bar, and actually, this is the first time ever I shared something like this. I've never shared that
Oh,
online.
wow.
So yeah, that's
Thank
actually very
you.
exciting. Of course. Well, they were the person was pressing on certain areas of my head or my scalp, and they supposed to be some connections to your energy, so they release the energy that you are trapping. Yeah, and they connect you with the spiritual world
Okay.
and the
Wow.
past lives as well. So each
Mm,
individual point on your head has a special place, and it takes you to the special place. Some are responsible for your emotions and love. Another one can be responsible for your past lives. So they actually
wow.
enter in your past lives. Another one is like telling you who you're gonna become. And they can actually manage your future. So that's why you want to be careful. You can't allow this energy in. So
Right.
I learned throughout I teach also in my course the protection, how to protect yourself from not getting hacked, not getting these hitchhikers. So
Yeah.
when she was running these bars on me, I felt she was like, "Oh my gosh, Magdalena." I'm like, "Yeah, I felt that hurt." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you are so I cannot get closer. You are like uh rejecting me. Why?"
Wow.
I'm like, because I know what you're trying to do. And I was like very calm. I was laying down in bed, and she's like, tell me what I'm trying to do. I'm like, get in my inner child, and you want to
Yeah.
heal my inner child wounds, and you want to do caching records on me through that point. And she's like,
Yes.
heck yeah, you feel it. And she was shocked, and she was like, kind of like stressed to do it later for me. Uh,
Yeah, I bet.
yeah,
Because
because, mm-hmm. So,
well, yeah, because you were seeing what was happening, and probably she's mostly been in the position where she's telling the person what's happening, but you were able to kind of take the lead on that.
yeah, yes, and I my body, it wasn't that I did it intentionally, but my body
Yeah.
rejected her energy. But she literally,
Wow.
I felt burning sensation. I thought she was like using a fire on me, like, or something. It was crazy. Her hands were just passing that energy that my body couldn't stand, and I was like, about like my body was like pounding in this area.
Wow.
I remember, I'm like, please, like, put your hands away from my head because it's burning. I'm gonna explode. And she's like, I'm keeping them far. I'm like, what did you
Really? Oh
do?
my
Like,
goodness.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I could handle it. She said that she never had that before. Everybody is very open to this energy. Well, people don't know, and
Yeah.
I was like literally uh, asked to do it, and oh, try it. Maybe you're gonna like it. And I'm like, sure. Life is about trying things. I guess I need to try to show the world if it's worth it or not. And in my opinion, you need to be careful with things like this because when they open
Yes.
the channel, yeah, guys, I saw crazy stuff out of this world. They dive in deeper into my inner in my past lives and in my
Mm.
future, and I saw incredible stuff. I actually write a book about it, so I'm gonna say about the examples. They were crazy what I saw, but I did it in a very gentle way and very protective way.
Right. But you have the ability to do that, but not everybody does,
I
And
know
that's probably where like
that's
being
risky.
careful and taking care, because if you don't have the ability to really tap in and have that kind of awareness and insight, then like you said, you have to be very careful with those types of things.
Yes, yes, because
Yeah.
they can actually later you're like a voodoo doll, and
Mm. Yeah.
and and that's why I was at the beginning. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
Oh,
you were kind of feeling a little bit of a like a resistance, little
yes,
resistance, right?
all the
Yeah.
time from the very beginning. But then I'm like, heck yeah, I need to open. I need to explore. I can't just be trapped. You know what I mean? Like in one thought.
Yeah.
So I explore and I allow them to touch my head, and
Wow.
yes, and you know um it was a lot. And and they told me you're gonna feel better after, you're gonna heal your trauma. I'm like, but the
Yeah.
point is I don't want to heal anything. I don't care. I just want to experience if that works or you are talking baloney here, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you've already done all that stuff. So,
yeah, I'm like, I'm healed. I don't want anything. I'm like, it's so
yeah.
so that's why she wanted to get into my inner child, and that was the most important and precious to me. Like, you won't touch
Yeah.
my inner child. Stay away.
No. That's like I'm guarding her with like my life.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure, right? And you have to. I mean, I always like to say, like my daughter, for a while, she was carrying around a photo of her as a little girl because, like, realizing that, of course, we grow and we're spiritual beings, but the adult version of ourselves, like we always have that inner child that we have to protect and look after. And I thought it was really cool because it was almost like it was a reminder that her little girl is still inside of her, to be
How
able to
old
see
is
her.
she?
She's 21 now.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So she's not a little girl anymore. Well, she'll always be my little girl. But, it was just like, I thought that's great because it's just like, oh, okay, as a reminder, she's still there. That little girl never leaves. She's always there, you
and
know?
she's gonna be there. And
Yep.
yeah, and see, and this is the beauty. But you, as a mother, you are like creating that safe space where she can be that little girl again,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm talking to my mom sometimes, and we're like, "What you doing?" It's like,
Yeah.
like
Right. Yeah, totally.
it's
Because people think like, oh, what? Like, no, you're an adult woman. Like, the child is gone. It's like, no, the child is there. And oftentimes the child runs the show. I mean, sometimes if you haven't healed those parts of yourself, whatever age where some of those traumas took place, that little girl or little boy can be the one that's making the decisions, which sometimes
yes.
isn't a good thing, you know?
Yes, beautifully said. Yes, and I'm gonna drink to that.
Yeah, drink to that. Oh my God. I have some, I'll pretend this is fresh coconut water. It's
Well,
just
look
water,
at
but
you. We are like all prepared. I just need to open my coconut with this tool this time because I lost my key. I lost my key to the universe somewhere, so I need
oh, I
to
love
use.
that. So I was going to ask you, I love what you just said about the color that you're wearing or the orange, because
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about color therapy because I know that's part of your course curriculum. But
Yes.
I love what you just said. That so resonated with me. like if you don't like a certain color, it's really it's a story. You can look back and there'll be a story around why that is. Like I've never thought about that before, and it's so true to ask the
Yes.
questions, to
Mhm.
ask yourself the questions. Well, why is it? Like everything I feel like could be a really good idea to do more self inquiry, to ask more questions into the self about these things that most people never think about. Like, oh, well, yeah, I just don't like the color, and then just let it go. But if you really have the awareness, again, always coming back to the awareness to look further,
Yes.
it's like, oh, well, when I was 6 years old, I remember wearing a orange shirt to school and I got bullied. And now, and you might not even, it's subconscious oftentimes. It's not in our conscious mind, but it's in the subconscious. And until you bring it up and start talking about it, and then there can be some real healing in that, just from the color alone.
Hmm.
Really
That's
powerful.
what I healed at the end of the. That was the course. That was That is the purpose of the course. So people that took part in it and they were while we were filming it professionally, they experienced healing,
Yeah, I bet.
and I experienced healing. I came there to heal. I was teaching. I'm
Yeah,
teaching that class, but I heal every time I teach.
yeah,
Every
I
time I
bet.
share, yeah, even with this interview, I heal. We all
Yeah.
heal.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, we've had this conversation today, and now I'm going to be looking at colors completely different, because that's one aspect that, I love colors, but I've never looked at it like that before. So thank you for that. That's like
Mhm.
an that's brought more awareness to my life, and I can learn and grow through that as well, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, you're welcome. You're most welcome. I am very grateful. I can share that, and I just had that in our call. I also include music in this. There's musical therapy, sound therapy. Oh my gosh, so many other aspects that there can
Do,
be. We need
do
to
you,
be a lot of surprise too.
yeah. Do you take time out in your day, like maybe not every day, but to paint, to draw, to like express yourself in that? Like, what are your things to do creatively to express yourself?
What a beautiful question. Wow, you know that no one ever asked me these questions. I love all your questions. They're
Thank
very, very
you.
unique. Like,
Thank
oh
you.
my gosh, no one ever asked me. Everyone, that's no offense. I love all the interviews
No,
before.
of course, of course.
They're just so unique. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah,
love
thank
this question.
you.
It's very special. Yeah. I wish I would have more. Like, I don't want to say I don't have time, because if you want to find time, you're gonna make the time, right?
Yeah.
But I don't prioritize it right now, since I have a business that I need to take care of,
Yep.
another business that I need to take care of. The consultations, the
Yeah,
clients,
yeah, for sure.
iridologist, and then making products, spreading them all over the place, delivering, their manufacturing. There's so much things to like.
But your products that you're making, that you're creating food wise, that is very creative. There's a very
It's
creative aspect to that.
Thank you for yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say that too.
Yeah.
This is a part of creation, so I treat my like my Canva is my product right now.
Yeah, it's
My product is my
beautiful.
Canva. Yeah, that's why the carrot cakes are the most popular here on Maui, and everybody knows carrot cakes, and they look also beautiful, always beautiful, like super poppy, vibrant, and
Yeah.
all the other fruity ones too, other pies. So that's a part of my creation. Even the bottles that I designed a logo, like that's so fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's beautiful. That
yeah,
is so much creativity in that.
so,
So
but I
much.
but I miss holding the brush. And the last
Mhm.
painting, to be honest, the one that I created was. I'm not sure if that was for fully or Christina, my friend. She asked me also to paint something for her, so I painted her as well for orchard.
Beautiful.
She's like, if you say Magdalena, that I know that everything you paint becomes reality. That's the
Wow.
truth. Yeah. So she's like, I want an orchard behind my picture. Can you do that? I'm like, of course. So I painted her, and she has an orchard now.
Oh, wow. I know. I mean, wow, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's
So I think,
amazing.
but I think that was Dr. Morse actually that I painted the last picture for. Yeah, I painted that
And I
picture.
saw that one. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. The one you painted for Dr.
Oh,
Morse.
yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah,
He's such a beautiful angel. I was
he
just like
is.
happy to hand it to him. And when the hurricane hit Florida, uh,
Yeah.
he-
Did the painting make it out unscathed?
I was so sad. I was just like, "How was my painting? How was my painting?" And he's like, "Don't worry, under control. A little wet, but it's good. It's all good. It's safe."
Okay. Phew.
I'm like, "Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
thanks God, we saved your
Yeah.
painting." So
Yeah.
your beautiful painting is saved. I was so grateful, and I was just like, I was just hoping. And but you know what I thought also? I was talking to the universe when all that storm and hurricane happened, and I'm like, if it's meant to be gone, I'm okay. Like I have to accept it, because I
Yes.
don't know. They're gonna open up the door of the clinic, and that could be wet fully or melted or whatever. And so I could take all the options, and I was like, if it's meant to be there and bring teachings or a word, uh, that pictures. I love looking at this picture. I have pictures of this picture. I need to post it one day
Yeah.
because we've never even posted
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Wow. Yes. So
I am
pretty.
very like I don't want to say shy. I think the humbleness,
Mm,
yeah, I am just like very. I don't share so many things, on
yeah.
Instagram or social media, and some friends are like, "Why don't you share it?" I'm like, "You do this and that." I'm like, I don't feel like it's right. Like some things are personal to me.
Yes, absolutely. And they're sacred, that you hold
Yeah,
things sacred just for you and for maybe the people who are kind of directly around you, but it's not for the world to see, even though others are like, why not? Why wouldn't you do this? But for you, I
yeah,
just feel like, your connection and your ability to communicate with the universe is like, you just know and you just get a feeling and you just kind of, you trust that,
hmm
as to
So
the direction.
yeah, so I'm sorry, I just getting a lot of these fibers from the coconut in my
The
mouth,
little coconut fibers. Oh.
and it's like, and I'm on my fast, so I have to avoid. No, I'm just kidding. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not that crazy about it. It's
I
just like,
feel like I feel like I could like sit here and talk to you forever. Like I feel like such a cool like I really appreciate like the spiritual connections. Like for me is I know that the food and the lifestyle brings us all together and I love the community, but I really love to connect like on the emotional and spiritual levels as well and just kind of share like I said, not that the diet isn't important. I think it's super important and it can be like the foundation for all of these other beautiful things to kind of take place for a lot of people. But it's such a beautiful thing to be able to connect in that way.
yes. And if you want to know what the picture is about, what that really means, what I hid in there,
Yes.
there are so many hidden messages that Dr. Morse was like, oh, I know that. All right, I
Oh,
get it.
he knew right away.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
I share that in a course. We share a lot in a course with Dr. Morse, and
Wow.
so I
Beautiful.
would be more than happy for you to check it out if someone is interested. Anyone interested?
Yes.
Yeah, there will be probably some information listed. It's a really
Yeah, for
powerful.
your course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can really change your life. Because there's so many aspects that we keep forgetting about that are important
Yeah.
on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
absolutely. I mean, this has been amazing. And I'll link all of your information. I'll link the course below and all of your contact information. I do have one question that I ask all of my guests at the
Of
end of the
course.
show. So I'm going to go ahead
Oh,
and ask you. So the question is this. So, what is your authentic life print? What is your unique expression in the world as Magdalena White?
wow. See your questions.
Mm.
Wow. Oh my God. When you ask me these questions, I saw nothing but white color, me
Mm.
with a white dress and a meadow,
Wow.
and full of butterflies and kind of like having wings, uh,
Yeah.
and just being my unique, sharing my unique. experience from my past lives that I am blessed to remember,
Yeah.
to even come back to and bring into this world. Because believe it or not, I won't be back on this planet again.
You're
This is
you're you're done. You're done.
I'm
This is
done.
it.
Yeah, this is it. So I am just like using my tools to do it. And the most powerful thing, I think, it's optimism for sure. My
Mm,
uniqueness is always thinking optimistic, no matter the worst case scenario. I'm very optimistic, never giving up person, but that's more character. So it all depends, if it comes to the
yeah.
character, to the spirit. But the spiritual level is that I love teaching to being pure, like expressing love, compassion, don't
Yeah.
argue. I've never argued with, seriously, I've never argued, like started any argument. If someone
Yeah.
starts, then of course I'm gonna protect myself. What do you think?
Yes. Yes.
I'm a human, but I I I try to teach nonviolent communication. I try to do an opposite what it's usually known. So I think that there could be, probably, if I would think deeper about it, there would be way more aspects that I would share. But I think that these
That's
things are
beautiful.
just, I can share my gifts with others,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Beautiful. Yeah, it's funny you used the word pure. And when you said to me that you saw yourself in a field in white with the butterflies, the first word that came to my mind was, yeah, there's a purity to you. Like you embody a very pure way of being in the world. That's how I receive you.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Of course.
With the gold, like aura around, and it's crazy that when I pop up, it like was like, whoa, like something coming from the divine. What do you see yourself? What it's you? And I'm like, I just feel, and sometimes, of course, I'm not perfect, but I am. So you are
Yes,
perfect at that moment, right? And you can also
absolutely.
progress. Yeah.
There's
Uh,
perfection in the imperfections, right?
yes. Yes. And for someone, that imperfection can be a beautiful perfection. So that's,
Yes.
at that moment, you do always your best. Just you do your best and follow it, and you can get to the goal that you want to achieve. And not even a goal, but what your heart craves, desires.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming on and sharing today. I love our conversation. I feel like it was like very like had some depth and able to share on things on a kind of a deeper level. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And like I said, I'll link all of your contact information below. I know your website, that's where people can find you if they want to book a consultation with you.
Please, yes.
Is that yeah.
Roccoconagirl at gmail.com. That's my email address, roccoconagirl.com.
Okay. Yay. I'll link it all below.
Yes, and Instagram.
Wow.
I am actually mostly on Insta. I used to do YouTube, but now I give a chance to others. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
did
Well,
a
it sounds like
promise
you're
there,
so
but
busy too.
I think I would have to have longer days.
Yeah, right. We got to add like an extension of like 6 hours onto our 24-hour clock.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you
Have a
so much.
beautiful rest of your day.
Thank
Bye.
you. You too. Bye.
Bye.